Hey, how's it going, Doug? Hey, all right.
Hey, I haven't talked to you in so long.
Yeah.
It's Inane Blather,
It's
episode number
been-
97. Don't worry, I haven't been
Yesterday.
talking myself red in the face with Natalie for the
Same.
past hour and 20 minutes.
At
I'm
each
actually
other.
just coming off of a
Spa
mind-bending
retreat. Yeah.
nitrous high right now, which is why I'm acting this way. I'm just looking
I
all
just-
around like,
This is absolutely lit.
I just came back from a spa. That's why I'm so calm and my heart
Yes.
isn't pounding and I'm not sweating and I didn't have to take my sweatshirt off because I was talking so loud and open a window.
I was wondering what you were doing. But yeah, either
This
way,
is lit.
this is the podcast where we remind you every week that America is
Awesome to the max.
and we can
That's-
do no wrong.
That's what we came to, the conclusion, you know.
And scene.
Episode over. No, but no, it's Inane Blather. We blather inanely, and we do it mostly to a crowd of
Headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
so
Excuse me.
we just I like screamed practically through my hands like we should have recorded this.
I
We
know,
were
it
really
was heated. You know what the thing is? Okay, why I said
Yes.
let's start
It
recording
was
right now
what
is because
should be on cable news, honestly.
we were heated.
Us.
Well, but we're on the same side. And that was a thing that was like, you know, Doug and I, we agree about a lot. We care about each other so incredibly much. You know, we really love each other. We're incredibly close. You know, we're siblings. And yeah, like as much as you can like try to be on the same page and give someone the benefit of the doubt, like that's what we're going to do. We're very tight. And even to that, something where we're on the same team about this and disagreeing, you know, like being furious, but not at each other, at fucking American politics, how incredibly we're both like red in the face, so fucking mad because we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like
Yeah.
no matter what, like our morals being put to the test by voting for Joe Biden or because of Gaza or because of whatever, you know, and Democrats versus Republicans, Trump versus Biden, all this kind of stuff. How incredibly infuriating it is. We want the same things, you know, but how we're like
We're
backed into
mad
these
at
corners.
the same things from different places.
Yes,
Even though
and
we're pretty much in the same place.
we are,
but like
and
same
just
different abstractions. Yeah.
yeah, and like what the right moral thing to do, and just like how upsetting it is that we even have to have these conversations and be just like so fucking mad at these systems that make us make these stupid fucking choices. Like, can't I just have like better fucking options to choose from and like talk about the merits of these
Can't we
candidates
just
rather than just
have
like which is
better
worse? And are we going to slide into
lives?
fascism, or is Joe Biden just like he is doing genocide too, but would Trump be worse than Trump doing stuff at home and white supremacy and all this kind of stuff? And it's like, and you, Doug and I agree about things. So, you know, it's no wonder like American politics can be so divisive where we're like, and coming back around, you know, we're like obviously joking and like whatever, and it's not about each other. We're not taking it personally, but man, oh man, it just is so...
Well,
It's
I mean,
infuriating to be an American. Like I said earlier, Somalia doesn't know
it's
anything about hard
infuriating
times, you know?
being an American.
It's so we have
Yeah.
it so bad here, you know.
Oh
And I
my
mean,
God.
it is really bad, and like the things that we have to be like feel like if you give a shit that you feel morally responsible for, like as an American, you know, that's kind of like it's something that it's a first world problem or whatever you want to say, being like I had to think about, or I get the time or whatever to think about all of the horrific stuff that my government does with my tax money that I work for. It fucking sucks. It sucks so much to know you're this horrible colonialist aggressor that's killing children through your hand directly, pretty much. Those are our weapons, you know, in Gaza in particular, but all over the world. We just are
when
so
Gaza
horrible. We're so
isn't,
responsible
quote
for
unquote,
like
happening.
so
We're still killing people.
we're so responsible for so many things, and that's because, you know, and then it's put on the voters and like it's our leaders. It's reflective. This is, I'm feeling like Osama bin Laden here, you know, like it is our fault.
And as
Yeah.
Mayor Eric Adams said, Osama bin Laden
bin Laden
was right.
was right.
Yeah, exactly. But shout out to R.M. Brown, our Lord and Savior.
Our Lord and Savior.
But yeah, you know what?
We just hate America, is I think what it comes down to, because we're communists.
Yeah, well, it's like,
And
well,
they're
it's
not
just
compatible.
America bad? Is that your take? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's like, and for so many reasons and things that could be different, but everything that is in place right now does not lend itself to making those changes possible.
What is the
without-
opposite of lens?
I mean, that's
It charges
Borrows.
itself. Yeah, no. Lens and... All right, yeah, maybe that
because
is the
all we
opposite.
can think about is monetary stuff.
Exactly,
you know? Yeah. Oh man,
How do I possibly figure out this impossible riddle? Thank you, life, you asshole.
that's pretty much what
It's-
we were doing.
Capitalism is bad, is the answer. It's so fucking
Yeah.
simple.
Well, yeah, but you know, it's two sides of the same coin, bro, because
just like your
capitalism is
opinion,
bad,
man.
but did you know?
The left maximizes evil.
So,
That's true.
yeah. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Sounds like you're pretty into this, buddy.
Oh,
so
man.
let's change course here. I mean,
Talk
there
about something light like genital mutilation in sub-Saharan Africa, or what's the topic for today?
Yeah, sure. What, you have some info on that, or?
Actually, I've watched a documentary
Oh
on it
God,
before.
I
Yeah.
didn't even mean to touch that. But it's like sit down and listen to this entertaining podcast.
That was a really nice one. Thanks, Inane Blather.
But
Thank
you know, we could still just rant and rave. And rant, mostly rant. God, you know what? You're right. I did like get heated. I need to.
I
rearrange how I'm
literally had to
sitting
take
here.
my sweatshirt off and open the window. You can probably hear the rain now because it's
See,
like
if we had like
Yeah.
like an actual listenership, we'd be recording stuff like that. I'd put it on Patreon or something and just really squeeze money out of people because we are capitalists at heart.
for $2 putrid a month. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, two bones. But I mean, you know, you still have to make a living.
It's pretty important to know that part.
Yeah, but anyway, I just miss out on some of that. But at the same time, I don't know. I like talking to my sister about this stuff, even though so many times, like you're saying, like we're so aligned on so many things, and we'll still like have these heated discussions at the subjects together and be informing each other of our own viewpoints loudly, and
Quite
teaching each other
loudly.
new things and doing stuff like that. Maybe almost tearing up, you know, here and there, depending.
Totally,
And then
yeah.
making fun of each other and ourselves for it afterwards, because that's how you learn. That's how you go through life.
But it's not we're not attacking each other. This is about the ideas, and that's
Well, I
a big
attack you.
difference.
But then, I mean,
yeah,
that's
that's why
entire,
I have that bear trap outside my bedroom.
this
now.
entire conversation, you know, did at least change something. I mean, after all that, I'm voting
Changed
for
your
Trump.
diaper.
No, I'm just kidding.
I decided I am going to vote.
Yeah.
And I'm going to vote for Trump.
Yep.
That was a really nice one. Thanks, Inane Blather.
Nice.
You know, it's Trump 2024.
Yeah, you really changed my
No.
mind, Natalie.
Someone
I'm
had
like,
to-
oh, good, a convert.
Yeah, you know what? Just because you're a bitch.
Yeah,
Like, what? I thought that, I mean, things get heated, but we love each other.
Trump
It's like,
that bitch.
You
Yeah.
believe that shit that we were saying? Oh my God. But,
It was not about ideas. It was about you
I was
being a
exposed
stupid
as doing
idiot.
a giant fraud.
yeah.
Death penalty.
But oh shit. God dang it. I like it's like I spoke all the air out of my head. You know how that feels sometimes?
Yeah, it looks
You
like
know what?
very deflated right now.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like a
I
shriveled
look
up
like
balloon.
Roger Stone. Like he's like a cone head. I sent you that picture. There's
Not
an even
a
worse
cone.
one.
It's like flat. It's like like
No, it
I don't
does
even
look
get
like
it.
the way that someone
Oh, you
said
know,
on
but some babies
Quora?
are born like that and they get sucked out of like a. You know, babies can be cone heads when they're born because of
Yeah.
like the pressure or whatever the kind of
Well,
suction
and
and
you
tools
have
that they're
the
using.
flat back of the head, so a baby's head can get out of the birth canal. But
So then some
that
people just
can-
never grow out of it. It's called a
Yeah.
soft skull. No.
Or like someone, like some it's pretty hardcore kind of lib type of Quora poster. You see those out there. It's like eye rolling sometimes. But I looked up because I saw that picture of Roger Stone. Just anyone out there, just Google Roger Stone's head. And I mean, you'll see pictures and people talk about it, but it got brought up on Twitter again. And yeah, I just Googled to make sure. I was like, this photo looks photoshopped. I didn't even send you the one that I saw, Natalie, but so I Googled and saw just another one. And I'm like, okay, this still shows that his head is like that. It's like cartoonish almost, but
Everything about him is cartoonish.
when I Googled it, there was a Quora post like, why is Roger Stone's head shaped like that or something?
I love
and this
that.
person went into it like, they're like, well, see, I mean, there's the whole soft spot on the back of a baby's head and yada, yada. But then they went into it, they're like, so feasibly this can happen when a baby is just so unloved and untouched that it's left on its back and you'll see that kind of parenting style really lends itself to creating the type of person that Roger Stone is. And I was like, Jesus Christ, my God. It's
so
like,
because he was an ugly baby, he didn't get held.
yeah, and because he didn't get held, he had these attachment issues, and because he had these issues, he became a conservative, and because he became a conservative, he became a fucking criminal psychopath. And because he became a conservative, he worked for the Richard Nixon administration, and because he worked for Richard Nixon, he became a criminal psychopath. But yeah, the
And then
fact
he
that
was
guy
discovered
is
as doing a fraud.
that's because
That's because you're an honorless, lying little turd.
Roger Stone. But I mean, what a human being to just be walking around amongst us, like among us, is this guy with like a half cone head, dressing up like the Penguin with a tattoo of Richard Nixon on his back. Like, this guy was in our government? Like, what the fuck? I mean, not
his
quite. He's always
glasses
just
and
been
his
an
outfits and
advisor.
his-
Yeah. Oh, it kept
He's
getting...
just been telling people in our government what to do, and
Yeah.
how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just taking the role of what we would usually call the voter or the people's voice.
Doesn't
You
have
know?
any. He is facing some
Something
accountability.
that we
though, it
just
sounds
went
like, but-
just went in on hard for about an hour before we hit record.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, the reason I think that he was being brought up, he was just kind of in the ether of it all because of the picture of him at a fundraiser. I don't even know what it was from. I just kept seeing the picture of him with Tim Pool at some event. And of course, it's an event with people like Roger Stone. Tim Pool was wearing
Why?
a beautiful, nicely tailored suit. I think his suit looked nice. Nice suit. And
Was he
his
wearing his beanie?
fucking beanie with a fucking suit. Like, come on, man.
We know you're bald. We know
It's-
you're bald.
It would look better to be bald. Bald people look good.
Ever heard of
all the
Mr.
time.
Clean?
That happens
He's
all
a big bald guy.
You ever
He's a
heard
big
of
old bald
Michael
guy.
fucking Jordan?
Vin
Like,
Diesel.
come on.
Let's see who else. You know, I'm sure there's someone else out there. Yeah.
But, oh no, but everyone bald is just...
Psychotic, deranged, cultist liars.
You know what? I'm gonna look it up.
I was
Bald
just...
actors.
That was one that just
Jason
almost...
Statham, Patrick
Yeah.
Stewart, Bruce
That was an old-
Willis,
that was an old
Dwayne
cum
the
town.
Rock Johnson.
Tim Pool, you could look like all of these men if you just took off your
Smashed
beanie.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, into one kind of Ubermensch. But
Yeah.
there was that old Come Town joke where it's like, yeah, that since Stav was bald, he's like, oh yeah, you'd be going to Halloween as Jason Statham. It's like, what do you think I am? I'm Jason Statham just because he's bald. He just puts on a suit. He's like, I'm Jason Statham in the Transporter or something like that. But can't
really
you tell
funny.
I'm bald? So I don't know if there's anything good in the New York Post. I had this saved in here. I said, gosh, there were these comments on this stupid story, LOL. I don't remember how I came across this. But someone wrote in their newsletter, this was Elizabeth. Oh, geez. I don't even know why I'm going to read this. But this is 7 years old. It came across Twitter at some point, I think, or I was just literally looking at big butts and came across this. Because how I'm fixing America. Big buttocks and nose rings, etc. I've written 8 novels, and I'm not sure I can get through another. Maybe I have writer's block. The thing is, I feel the urge to fix America. That's silly, of course. I'm just one old lady living with her cats. I can't fix anything, but I can create a hero and task him to the project. That's the great thing about writing. You can create these odd, beautiful, ridiculous, brave, and memorable characters and assign them to a job that you would never have the courage to take on yourself. You can put them in horrible situations and let them squirm helplessly. Your characters can be kind and generous, or evil and dangerous and deranged, and you can make them say things that are, well, shameful and maybe gross. So then she writes, it's just this... I don't even know what this is. This is a blog or something. But she creates this character, Greg Spencer. He's 30 years old, tall, muscular, handsome, and brilliant, and oh yes, very rich. Black hair and blue eyes. He has everything going for him.
Black hair and blue eyes.
But Greg is obsessed with fixing America. That's this whole thing. He's very concerned with the culture of today. It started at the beach when he was a lifeguard and could not possibly avoid the sight of the huge bare rear ends of the women in thong bathing suits. He hated that vision. I know what you are thinking right now, readers. Those bare butts do not repulse guys. It's you, old lady author, sitting at home with your cats who objects to big bare buttocks. Buttocksi, I think. It's like, just buttocks. Buttocksi. I couldn't find a word in the dictionary for lots of buttocks, so I made up my own. Oh, she even said that. It's like cacti. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, lady. But anyway, but she says, whatever, I can make my hero as odd as needs to be to get my point across. But she has this whole thing, Fixing America, Chapter 1. It was the memory of women's bulging bare bottoms that eventually catapulted Greg Spencer into his incredible career. Let's see. Dogs can't tell you when they get thirsty.
You do that again, I'm going to come over there and physically assault you with this champagne bomb and break it over your stupid Joker face.
Okay, I'm just kind of scrolling through. I wanted to put something in there. Greg liked pretty girls, but these teenagers on the beach with almost all their bodies exposed just did not seem appropriate. The very thought of his sweet girlfriend lying partially naked in that manner was upsetting to him. Seeing them below the lifeguard station exposing themselves so flagrantly was irritating and ruining his otherwise great summer job. Yeah. I'm sure you're a lifeguard at the beach and you hate all these women and thong. As a straight man.
As
and
anyone.
Also,
you ever seen a woman in a thong? Skip, straight, gay, whatever. That's a work of art.
Yes.
That's a work of art. You ever seen a Renaissance painting?
Come on. Jeez. It even has a buddy named Paul. He says, hey, I don't mind. Oh my God. Greg saying, they don't even wear tops anymore. Just those little round stick-on thingies. A woman's bosoms should be protected. A feminine mystique sort of thing. You know, modesty-like. So he's just like one of these weirdos who's furiously beating off as soon as his shift is over, but during it being like, these are disgusting. These women are disgusting.
I can almost see their nipples if I stare long enough.
Oh my God, their butts are hanging out.
That's all I can think about.
So let's see. Oh, yeah. So the story was about, I think I read a lot of this. That's right. I've had this in my notes for a long time. Sorry. So I'm kind of skirting through here, but he starts trying to fix America, starting with getting women to be more modest at the beach is his thing. He like makes up this
High
new
priority.
ordinance that as a matter of common decency, you must cover your rear end on the beach, either with shorts or skirts. You may no longer allow your posteriors to hang out in public. And so, yeah, he just pretty much lies to a bunch of people on the beach and says that that's the rules. But so he
Suicide is badass.
No.
Oh, so in my notes here though, when I had this okay, so that's chapter 1. Okay, she just said chapter 1. Greg has these discussions with his sweetie named Sophie, and they oh my god. And yeah, and they're complete fucking he's a complete little bitch at the Mexican restaurant. Oh, because, yeah. So the other thing is the bare buttocks and then nose rings, and he's upset about he's saying that everyone's going to get a staph infection because the guy at the Mexican restaurant has a nose ring or something like that. It's just like yelling, and he makes a big scene, yada, yada, yada. So, but I said, look at the comments on these. She said, that's chapter 1, and now I need to guide Greg through the rest of the irritants he faces as he fixes America. It's going to be a challenge because there are a total of 12 things that poor Greg thinks he must end, which, okay, that already seems overly complicated. Let's see. I understand, says, oh, okay, comments. That's the author. Okay. Oh, wish me luck. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing like wearing your heart on your chest. I care. Therefore, I am a worthy person, an intellectually engaged person, a person of note. I show my support, not by doing, but by wearing this little ribbon, which is so much easier. I'm waiting for the black ribbon in support of Black Lives Matter, or the rainbow ribbon in support of All Lives Matter. No, wait. That one is already taken in support of LGBTX, the X meaning I'm not sure. Okay. What was I looking? Oh, yeah, okay, here we go. Larry Connors. You know that Greg is going to get his clock cleaned, right? I hope Sophie is a trained nurse. Imposing one's preferences on another is what the left does. It's called liberal fascism with a smiley face. To truly change cultural trends, one must come up with a competing trend that provides expressions of individuality, albeit without all the metal and gross anatomy. How about masks? A mask could signal your attitude for that day. Happy, angry, sexy, friendly, standoffish, thoughtful, playful. So many emotes to present to the world. Temporary tats on the forehead to describe how great and intelligent you are, how concerned you are, and about this and that. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Let's see. There was but I liked, let's see, good grief. Thank you for pointing that out. It's not for children. They can't help what grown-ups do. Oh, yeah, there's a few things in here at the end, too. This was an interesting and entertaining first chapter to your book. I would like to read more. I, too, have to question the choice of how to write for children as the category, however. Someone else. I'm wondering why this is published under the category How to Write for Children. But I think it was that comment that really got me. You go through this whole thing where it's someone with these obvious conservative tendencies, right? I mean, and they say as much through their character of Greg, that they're about modesty. They think that things progress too far, that we should return to how things were, yada, yada. Just really straightforward, right? That the hero of this story is a conservative jerk named Greg.
Yeah,
I mean,
loser.
That's
I
what
think.
you guys like, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Not my
to
thing.
read this entire page of drivel and then be like, hey now, oh, he can't do that. That's what the left does. What? Like we're just so far behind as a country. We went into this off the record just about how stupid people are and how it's like it's not even like a moral, at least my claim it was, and I think you agree, it's like what R.M. Brown always says, it's not their fault, but you have to work with what we've got. And we've got a lot of stupid and uninformed and misinformed and disinformed people as soon as it enters the realm of politics and philosophy. To take this and think like, hey, the conservative character shouldn't just be forcing his ideals onto society.
That's what the left does. Yeah,
That's what the left does. Are you insane? Have you even get it? Have you watched the movie Footloose? No, just anything easy that you'll be able to comprehend. Although you read this and this is what your response was. I think, man, there must have been more here because I remember saving this for a reason, but that really kind of exemplifies it. I thought, and I also like the phrase, it's called liberal fascism with a smiley face. It's like, you think you're so smart. You think you're so clever. And it's just like, I'm not smart. I'm not clever. But it's like,
but I'm smarter.
I know better than that. Come on, bro. Like,
then
what are you doing with your life? So one thing that I wanted to bring up, I had watched the great Hoots video. I don't know if you ended up watching any of it. It was like an hour long, so
which one was
it's
this?
Okay, but gosh, what was the video? Because all I know is that in the video, she had referenced, like cost of living and the cost of food, and I didn't even know, but the USDA has these guidelines on that probably contributes to just like governmental numbers on cost of living and stuff like that. It's like cost of food to support a family of 4, that sort of thing. And she had mentioned it. And then I went and looked it up because the USDA provides these numbers. They have these general ideas based on the Consumer Price Index or just I don't know if they survey throughout the 50 states and Consumer Price Index. It's pretty close as far as I know. You can get trends from it, but surveying and figuring out the average cost of an actually balanced meal, like balanced diet, so that you get all of your nutritional value, and they have the family of 4. It even explains it, so it's the 2 adult parents and 1 child that's
adult parents.
Nice. Very nice.
That's an R.M. Brown ref.
Oh, what the that was a really nice one. Thanks, Inane Blather. There we go.
That was a really nice one. Thanks, Inane Blather.
Thank you.
Head bonk to individuals.
So, and then a kid that's 6 and then a kid that's 12 or whatever it is. But the USDA thrifty food plan for a family of 4 currently is $976 per month. $1,000 a month for a family of 4 to be on the thrifty plan. So it's not like all these people are spending all their money on avocado toast and Starbucks or whatever. It's like, no, it's expensive. It's
They're
expensive
spending
to
it
live.
on meals for their family. Yeah. Oh my
Like,
God,
if
it's
you
so
have a
fucking
family
expensive.
of 4 and you actually, it's like, sure. It's like, well, why don't you cut some corners? Why don't you make some more rice? Why don't you do this and that? Why don't you save some money here and there? Okay, so if you want to give your children less nutrition, I guess that's on you, bud. Or you sacrifice your nutrition for your children, and maybe you're going to save
what a lot of people
$100.
do.
I don't know. Exactly. It's like, I definitely do not eat the balanced meals that I do when I don't have my child. Not even close. It's like, it is what it is. But I get all set up for those weeks, and it costs so much fucking money. I'm a store brand guy. For sure, because I'm not going to spend more money on food. Like, it's insane. I made some really good dinner
And then
today,
it's
though.
another one of those things where it's like you're blaming people for like spending too much, spending their money on food. We're talking about,
And we're
guys.
talking about food.
We're talking about food here. We're talking about food. We're talking about food. All these other problems, they don't really matter. Honestly, climate change, it doesn't really matter if everyone's dead because they starve.
Yeah.
You know?
If you're...
It happens a lot faster than climate change. It happens actually like days,
If
you
you
can go-
personally are on the
it's
brink of
not very long.
starvation, why the fuck would you care about your carbon footprint? I mean, that's just the way it goes.
And it's not even
But-
doesn't even take starvation, poor nutrition, the foundation to people doing poorly in life. You can build that on some poor
Yeah.
nutrition. You eat ramen every night, you eat shitty food because you can't afford anything else. Your brain doesn't work, you can't sleep well, you can't respond well emotionally. You have
get sick
like your
more
capacity
often, you'll
is completely
miss
diminished
school
in
or
every
work.
single way. You'll be sick more often, not even just missing school or work. You'll be sick. Like your body will be sick. Like you will have poor health for your
I don't know
life
if
because
people
you
know
have
this,
poor
but
nutrition.
being sick is bad for you.
Yeah, it's like a state of being that you don't want to be in. That's why it's sick. It's not like sick. It's like sick.
It's
you
ill.
know? Like
And not like ill,
but not
but
like
it's
that.
like
It's
you're
like bad,
ill.
but not like that. Yeah, it's like
Yeah. But not Beastie
It's like-
Boys.
it's like nasty in a bad way. Yeah, it's like
Why do we keep... See, this is the
know.
real conspiracy here. Convincing
Democrats
us all...
or no.
yeah, convincing us all that we're actually doing not only okay, but badass, because
Yeah.
all of the bad words mean cool words, you know?
I've been
First it was
You know,
fat,
we haven't-
and then sick, and then oh, that's bad. Remember, people used to say that.
Oh yeah,
you
she's
know?
bad. I've been, campaigning for a food
'Kay,
bank here in the
that's
last
why I wanted
couple
to bring it
weeks,
up.
and they do a lot of good work. The Capital Area Food Bank in the Maryland, D.C., Virginia area, the DMV, which is actually D.C., Maryland, Virginia, but
Wow.
64
That's
million meals
The first
provided
time
last
I've
year.
heard someone say what that actually meant, and I feel like a complete
Yeah.
fucking idiot. I was always
it's,
like, I'll just it's that area over there. I'm not gonna ask. I was
They're
the
all
living
right
embodiment
there.
of that Andy meme from Parks and Rec. It's been too long, and I'm too afraid to ask anymore.
That's what it is, and so over 64 million meals provided last year by the food bank, and in partnerships they do things, job skills training, get people better health care. They partner with other nonprofits to provide food for these other nonprofits, so then people can be whatever their whole nonprofit is. If people are doing job skills training or something like that, then they have food to give to people, so that's not something that people have to worry about at all. So over 5 million meals a month provided through this food bank, which, man, it is incredible. It's amazing, like what's possible. And it's also, it really speaks to the need in the communities. And it also, I think about it, and like I've said before, if you think about for just a little bit what would happen without these nonprofits, like where people would be without charity in America, people would be dead. A lot of people would die.
It's like, what are we
starve
doing?
to death.
Why is
And,
this
yeah.
even close to ideal? Why is it a good thing that these charities exist? Why is
Because
it a
you know
good
what?
thing that someone is providing food for families and
because what
children?
it means, people voluntarily do this. People voluntarily
Yeah.
Give to nonprofits. There is no other incentive besides the cause that you're giving to.
Yeah.
You want people to have homes. You want people to have food. You want people to have education. People want to help. And instead, where does all that help go? All of these billions of dollars that we collectively give that are supposed to be represented by, that's supposed to show what our society really believes about. What we do is give billions of dollars to charity on top of that to catch the people that are falling through the cracks because they're falling through the cracks because all of that fucking money is going to something that most people don't agree with. It's not just Gaza. It's about killing people. We don't like killing people. That's why we donate to charity.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to let people die from something as essential and simple as eating food. So, and it's like, what you were talking about last week, I forget how you put it, but it's just like the fact that it has to exist when we have this massive superstructure in place, when we have governmental programs, where we have stuff where you already know that people will voluntarily, like you said, donate time, money, resources to make sure that people get their basic needs met. On top of that, you have a way of involuntarily just making people give. You have taxes. You have we live in a society, okay? And it's like, why is this a problem at all? Imagine what could be going on with these people that donate their time, their money, their resources, their lives, if this wasn't an issue. If children didn't go hungry, if it wasn't a fact that 1 in 8 Americans in I forget the exact stat or whatever, it doesn't matter. If it's 1 in 80, people are unsure of where they will be able to get their food. People, the fact that their food deserts exist, the fact that hunger exists.
The fact that exists on top of food waste.
Yeah.
That right there in America, especially, every single person deserves food, of course. In America, where there's so much food waste, it is extra fucking disgusting that you can't even pass, hey guys, you don't want to be doing these food banks, government, whatever. Put on some regulations that these producers and stuff, they can't waste food. Like, they can't package things these ways. They can't do things like this. They can't leave things to rot. They can't do that. They have to give it to people who are in need. That's like making people obligated to do these things because they're not going to do them. I mean, we are going to do them as individuals, make sure people aren't falling through the cracks.
It's not
businesses are not going to do that.
Profitable.
But, yeah. And at the expense of literally, it's like, you guys are throwing perfectly good food away, and in just one small area of the country, there has to be, and you know what? 65 million meals provided. And you know what that means? What that is? 75% of the people that come in for services from this CAFB is what we call it, Capital Area Food Bank. 75% of the people that come in there work. They are working people that need to go to the food bank. 95% of the people coming to the food bank, 95% have homes. Only 5% of the people that are coming in are the people that you would think would be kind of using a food bank. When you think about like people who are really in need, it is people who work full time trying to just literally provide food for their family. It's not drug abuse, though again, every single person deserves food, It's not whatever some of these horrible people would be saying, like, oh, they're losers, they made poor choices, they blah blah blah, they could beg their bread, all this kind of stuff, whatever horrible kind of discourse people have around that. It's not even that. It's people
drug
who work
addicts
jobs.
Deserve a meal.
People who like 2 parents are working, they still go to the food bank and are in need. And the reason more children aren't food insecure is because their parents become the ones who are food insecure. They do not eat, so they can provide. That is true. That is what happens. More children would be food insecure if their parents were getting enough to eat too, or they would both be both be food insecure or just barely getting enough, like they're splitting it. It's like people rationing their insulin. That's what parents have to do with their children sometimes, is their children get to eat and they don't get to.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
It's like,
I'd be such
okay,
a good parent
well,
if I
you
was
just
hungry
start-
all the time. I'd be so good at parenting if I was just constantly
Yeah, exactly.
hungry.
And then you're a worse parent, and then you're the one that's sick, that's not getting good sleep, that's unhealthy,
And
that
then you're
isn't
and then you're a bitch to your
at
kid, and then they
100%.
have all these behavioral issues
and then
because
you're
you can't
the
parent
one
well.
doing, the most difficult job in the world, quote unquote, being a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and so important and stuff. We talk about. Just look at the teachers. They don't make shit. Just think about the fact that some people visiting a food bank at some point could be fucking teachers. Like, it means we have our priorities wrong. Like, or even if our priorities were correct, because like you said, people want to help,
Totally.
the system in place to deliver food to people in the United
necessities?
States does not reflect our priorities. A change needs to occur. A systemic change needs to happen to be able to reflect humanity, what we want from our government, from our country, from society, whatever it may be. Oh yeah, so it's like something as small as we look at, hey, a win, something good that like the Joe Biden administration has done and stuff was that expanded child tax credit, where it's like, look at what happened. He eliminated so much child poverty and child hunger.
What a disgusting phrase.
Yeah, exactly. This thing that somehow exists in the United States of America, and we just, we're not going to do that again. It's too much money. Doesn't work. People get upset. I don't know.
When children
which
get
people,
food to eat.
Yeah, which people? I mean, because there really are only so many of those loud, nasty conservatives or whatever that are just so self-centered. It's like, no, the people who really actually see some difference with their bottom line, maybe with higher taxes or with an area of the economy there that is being catered to by a government program instead of them, instead of their company, just the fact, not even that a company could be losing money because we're providing meals to children, but the opportunity cost of that company not being able to fill that market void and be able to just squeeze profit out of those children getting meals instead. It's kind of a problem. I mean, it's kind of...
You know what I was thinking? Oh, what? It's kind of what?
Oh, I mean, it's just exemplifies
I thought you were gonna hit
the
a
whole
drop.
problem. That,
Capitalism is bad.
yeah.
Oh,
so
nice. Yeah.
that's what you were
I
thinking.
was going to say what the most... I was thinking about it earlier today. I almost sent you a voice message to say... I wanted to say it on the pod that...
okay.
It's so... like, billionaires... They're so embarrassing. Like, what an embarrassment. I've said it before and all this kind of stuff. But it really is interesting that it's like, once you've pretty much like won at the game of like capitalism, like you don't have to worry about, anything. Like you'll always have, medical
basic
care.
needs will
You'll
always be met.
always your basic needs and then some. If you don't dedicate like your life to like something, what are you doing? Like, what are you genuinely doing? If it's only for pursuit, like, why is that like such something that we would look up to instead of like, wow, of course, you can talk about Rockefeller, library, whatever, people doing things kind of, and they have charities or whatever, but that should be, once you've made all that money, what you should be known for is your philanthropy. Like, people should know just how much money, be like, oh my gosh, like all of this research that was done, it's actually because, you know, Jeff Bezos, whatever, you know, he dedicated after seeing COVID and just like realizing, you know, these things. It's like they had the ability to do this and they really could do something, like really something with all this additional resource that they have that they just don't need anymore. They just don't need it. They don't need it. And they could really, like, it's so weird to think that they're just not like fully, like Mackenzie Bezos, what she did was immediately set up a thing where she could be giving away this money. She's given away so much money to all of these organizations. It's like really like what's possible, you know, to like bolster up these organizations trying to fight back against all these things that capitalism causes. But, you know, like, I guess that's why they don't. Because why would they be fighting the...
It's the Zaphod Beeblebrox president of the universe problem.
Galaxy.
The person who gets into that position is the least suited to be that kind of person that you're talking about. Because you look at someone who even someone who kind of goes that direction, you know, where... setting aside the fact that it's like, oh, well, it's charities, it doesn't really help, or it's just an example of the problem that we have in our system, you know, yada, yada, yada. I mean, of course it helps. It'll just help someone. But it's like, it's just exemplifies, you know, the fact that the system is set up incorrectly. Whatever it may be, or even for like billionaire philanthropists, it's like, well, they're only doing it, it's not altruistic. It's like, whatever. At the very least, you should be doing that, you know, something like that. Yeah, exactly. So, but you look at someone who goes that direction, look at Bill Gates. And even then, it just shows that getting to that level of wealth rots your brain, rots your soul, your humanity, to the point where he still has done so many things, like with his foundation. They do all this stuff in Africa with the vaccines and clean water and stuff, but he still can't be convinced to just let like vaccine patents be public. You can't really let that go. You can't, no, I don't think that's a good idea. No. It's like, you have more than enough money to live 1,000 lifetimes. You, your entire family, everything, your ugly mistress, and your ex-wife, like whatever it might be.
Well, people don't even have enough money to live one.
And you still, you take that step and you start doing good things with some of the money, or, you know, or with other people's money, yada, 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 whether through altruism or vanity. Doesn't matter. Like you're saying, if you're helping people, that's good.
You're helping people.
Yeah, it's like, and you take that step and you still have this disgusting wealth mindset. You know, it's like, well, you don't just give away this stuff for free. It has to be a way of using, you know, making more money to be able to use this money correctly. It's mind-bending logic that only exists through denial. You know, the fact that you really are in this position because you were a slime ball. Just at a fundamental level, that you, through greed, through exploitation, through all of that, you just don't stumble into that. And people will look at like, okay, you see, I wonder, there's got to be something here, right? So it's like the people who get into that position are the least suited to use it correctly, right? The Zaphod Beeblebrox problem. It's our registered trademark. Inane Blather 2024. But so then you look at the people who actually can stumble into this. Look at someone who wins like $150 million Powerball.
That's exactly what I was just
and then
thinking.
they lose it all, right? And then it's like, how can people do this? How idiotic. It's like, because they're a normal person. Because
they probably gave a bunch away.
Aren't like suited for that. To get to that point, you have to sell your soul, you know, to be able to get to that point through the normal marketplace. You not only have to be born on third base in some way, you know, even Bill Gates are like, well, but he did stuff out of his garage and dropped out of school. Yeah, out of what garage and out of what school? Hello.
Yeah.
But it's like,
I guess what I was thinking earlier was like how embarrassing it is that they'd want to have a job. I guess that wasn't helping people. Where it's like, you know how many people just like daydream about just fucking like even just enough. It's like I'd have a little apartment, maybe a little backyard or something, just something small. I don't need much. If I just didn't have to work, you know, that'd be great. Maybe I could help do stuff in my community. I could volunteer. I could go down to the library. And I could read to the kids or whatever kind of crap you're wanting to do.
Even if it's a selfish thing, it's be like, yeah, I would be fixing up muscle cars or something. I'd have a place with a little garage.
Time with my daughter.
Yeah, we'd be working on this. I'd be spending time with my daughter, working on this '68 Mustang. Wouldn't that be an absolute dream
they
life?
Want another job. They want to make more money. And like with Bill Gates with Microsoft, it's like, so once you made it, what does it matter? Like, people are employed, you know, you've got this big business. Why make more money if it's just going to go towards making more money? Why not just have those profits be going into something? It's like, man, I guess that's how they make money. I don't really understand, obviously, how like economics work or the stock market or whatever that's how they make money. But it seems like they would have made money without being like a publicly traded sort of company, because they had this product like Microsoft, you know, being an example of one that it was like a tangible product that was like, you know, kind of game changing a little bit for like where we were at and like this kind of bubble that things go through and like right time, right place and all that kind of situation. And just, yeah, I guess that's what it is like they're not going to be a kind of person who stops working because they're the kind of person who becomes a billionaire.
And even if you make this game changing product,
that it is.
You get to the point where Microsoft is and was through unethical monopolistic practices, through exploiting the third world, you know, which is Mars. Which is where Elon Musk comes in. See, here's what happens here.
We're actually the third rock from the sun.
Oh, man, I wish that I remember what Sophia said today. She said something funny. She made fun of Elon Musk.
Nice.
But I was like, yeah.
Raising her
just
right.
made fun of him being a rich idiot or something. I forget. But raise your children right, folks.
And by that we mean raise them left.
Yeah. No, that's it's been my pinned tweet for a while, was just a quote from Sophia. I said a quote from my 10-year-old daughter. Racist people suck. It's like, yeah, exactly. You know, from the mouths of babes. I was like, you know what?
Awesome to the max.
That's right. So that's sick. That's ill.
Sick. That's ill.
Damn.
That's bad. Oh, that's bad.
That's filthy, dog. But yeah, so it just goes to show feeding people is a good thing, and
I would agree. I would tend to agree.
And the way the system that we're all propping up, you know, be out of necessity and through like the people we put into office, everything stands in the way of that, you know. And it's funny, I was thinking recently, it's like the way that I kind of moved left even before. Well, I think Bernie had a lot to do with it, but even before that, just thinking through things, because Bernie really kicked it off for me because of healthcare, right? Because I was an idiot. Full stop. No, but I was, I was like a libertarian-minded person, believing in the free market and stuff. I'd taken my economics classes even back then.
I know. I remember arguing with you.
Yeah, but it's like, but even reaching a point because of healthcare, and Bernie just put into great words saying that healthcare is a right. But before that, it was like, well, the free market, look at what free market capitalism has done. I mean, quote unquote done. That's undeniable. I mean, Marx would agree. Like, that's why the Industrial Revolution happened. That's why we progressed technologically so far, and yada 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 yada. But it's like the way that we should have things. I would be telling myself, in my 20s, it's like, see, is free market for things that it helps, and no free market for things that it hurts. Because it was like, there shouldn't be a free market capitalist system for healthcare, is what I would say. I was like, because the demand is a negative. It's it's like, you don't want to be sick. You don't want to be injured. That shouldn't be. Yeah, you don't want to be sick. You want to be sick. Injured. See, that's the word that we have to go for. That hasn't been taken over yet.
Not yet.
Bro, this album was fucking injured. Did you hear that fucking Kendrick Lamar diss? That shit was injured. No,
injured as fuck.
But
it's like, didn't it surpass this deductible?
Actually,
it was like
there was that hip hop group I used to listen to called Injury Reserve. I should check them out again. Anyway, nice. but even then it was like, so it's like, that's something that should be taken out of the free market. Because it's not good for the economy and society for it to be a profit-seeking free market enterprise. And it's like, yeah, and I'd think to myself, well, of course, that's why, like, public education is like that, That's not a good thing. And when it is this free market capitalist enterprise, you have skyrocketing tuition in colleges and stuff like that. That's not part of the same public education system. But then I realized, and that's how I just organically just became like a social democrat kind of thing, or a democratic socialist eventually, where it's like, oh yeah, well, that really kind of applies to a lot of stuff. And everyone who tells you that it's not tells you that because they want to make money from you. They want to make money off of you, and they're not going to use that money to help you. And
no, they want to make money.
Is that doing that and following it to its logical conclusion leads you to communism eventually, or just socialism in general, where it's like, yeah, most things in day-to-day life, most things in society are part of a marketplace because we need them, because they are necessities. They are food, shelter, education, water, healthcare. And it's like, oh, yeah, I guess the only reason we get talked into half-assed, half-step efforts through neoliberal policies and stuff is because the people that stand to make money from it tell you that that's how it should be, and we believe them in general.
Because you know why? Because we're trusting. Because we're their authority figures,
because
and we should be able to.
And we're like, you know what? Okay, you're right. You're the smart one.
You're probably. Hey, I believe that you have my best interest in mind, because I'm of that naive opinion that people are good and people are going to be looking out for each other, and people do.
But those people in the positions to be the ones talking to you are the least suited to be there. They're least suited to have your interest at heart.
And why I say at work, when people say I don't have the money to donate, I'm like, yeah, I hear that a lot, because I think it's the bigger the heart, the smaller the pocketbook, because that's how you get a big pocketbook, is you don't care about other people, and I totally...
The whole becoming conservative as you get older or whatever, or conservatives, or as you... It's like it's just survivorship bias of people that get wealthy. That's what it is. And they have the voice. So anyway, so let's
and they're like, it's pretty nice to be wealthy.
Yeah, they're like, see, why wouldn't it be this way? Well, I guess if you're gonna live a good life, you're gonna have to be a conservative. It's like, no. You know what happened to that guy?
He died, and when baboons kidnapped and ate him.
So anyway, that's what happens.
Bitches leave.
We should wrap it up. We try to keep it at an hour. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this. And truly,
thank you, everybody.
We wish that everybody could have just been in the room while we were talking earlier. We had all of you in our hearts. At least I did, Natalie. I was thinking of
well, I don't care
Aaron
about
Brown
people. That's why I'm going to vote
Zach
for Joe
and
Biden.
Mia
yeah.
and Wendy and Ryan
Kelsey
and Kelsey.
Humby.
Yes. And happy birthday, Humby.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, happy birthday, Humby. I wrote some lyrics and Doug did that, and it was quite nice. It was quite well received.
Quite nice. Hey, so, everyone listening.
Quite nice, quite nice.
If you have an idea,
keep it to yourself.
Yeah, you know what?
Bitches leave.
Okay, I'll bring it up on the next one. Love you.
Love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Bye.